Welcome to AP Chemistry, everybody. This is Unit 4, Chapter 4, and we're taking a look at figuring out a strength of a solution. And one of the ways of doing this is through doing a titration. And so I'll show you the apparatus in a moment, but I wanted to go through the concept of what this experiment is all about. We're going to be using potassium permanganate, the KMnO4. We're going to be using that to determine the iron content of an unknown compound. So first question is, how strong is my potassium permanganate that we're going to be using? So in this experiment, to start with, we need to figure out the strength of that potassium permanganate, and to do that we're going to be taking a set amount of your sodium oxalate. We're going to acidify it, and in mixing those together we're going to be seeing that we're going to make manganese sulfate, carbon dioxide, and then we're going to get potassium sulfate and sodium sulfate. Okay, what's really going on and what's really going to be important for us to do a net ionic equation with it is just to take a look at those permanganate ions and my oxalate ions. Okay, well, I can tell the oxalate pretty easily because within the burette itself, this is the apparatus that we're seeing, that permanganate is or that oxalate, I should say. The permanganate is going to be a very dark pink color. Okay, so I'll know when all of that permanganate is used up, when that pink color that's in this burette, I'm going to drop that into a flask of my sodium oxalate, and as soon as all that oxalate is used up, I'll know it because I'll see some pink residing. So this is a redox reaction. As you can see, my carbon is going from a +3 to a +4. My manganese is going from a +7 to a +2. Okay, so we're seeing a redox reaction going definitely, and since it's in an acidic solution, remember the steps of this. We have to separate the half reactions according to redox reaction. We balance every other element other than hydrogen and oxygen, and then we deal with the oxygens by adding water to the other side. So you see on the top line I had water that's going to be added in there. I needed 4 of those to balance out the 4 oxygens that we see on the oxalate. Then we're going to be balancing out the hydrogens from that by adding hydrogen to the other side. We balance the charges by adding electrons. Then we balance the electrons by multiplying the entire equation by that multiplier. We add all the equations, and then I just canceled out my electrons. We see that at the end of all of this reaction that I have a balanced redox reaction with 16 protons and 2 permanganates and 5 oxalates yields 2 manganese, 8 waters, and 10 carbon dioxides. Now, why all that's important is because we got to figure out the strength of that permanganate. Okay, I want to know how strong that is. So to do this, we're going to be taking a set number. You're going to have to measure this out, and we're going to be, somewhere around the 0.5 grams, but we have to measure that down to the 10th of a milligram. So we want to be very, very accurate with that one. I'm going to convert that to moles, and then using my balanced equation, I see that it's a 5-to-2 ratio. So the strength, if my grams of sodium oxalate was 0.15 exactly, my strength would be this in terms of moles. Now the question is, what is its molarity? So that's what this apparatus is all about. We're taking a look at a burette, and I've filled it with the potassium permanganate already. Now you'll notice that at the top I have actually filled it past the marking. Okay, a burette always works this way, that it starts at 0 and it goes down to 50 milliliters. Okay, it's held in place right at the bottom by a little bar that's got to be perpendicular to the actual tube itself. Okay, I'll try to get this so it zooms in. There we go. And so it needs to be perpendicular. Be careful of that because it's just going to go running out right away. And you'll notice at the base of this, where all the fluid comes out, the base is actually clear right now. The liquid never gets down in there because this is closed. So we have to deal with that by having a waste container. And I'm just going to get this set up here so it can sit. And that waste container is going to hold just a little bit extra fluid in there so that I can deposit this. Try to get it so you can see. I've got to bring this down just a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to be bringing this out just a little bit as well. And so this waste container will just hold a little bit extra of my permanganate so that now it's actually down to the tip. And so I look up to the top of my burette and I see I have to record exactly how much I started with. Okay? I have to record exactly how much I started with because it's not always going to start at 0. So this is very important to get that starting volume. Okay? I read that very carefully, and then I'll be taking a look and depositing this permanganate down into my solution, and I just simply have to record the volume that I've dispensed. Okay? So that's the basic setup with it. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, so my solution is ready to go. It is at the temperature that I need, and I'm ready to go with this. And I'm going to actually insert a magnetic stirring bar into my flask. Now I'm using a volumetric flask here because if it gets any splashing or anything like that, I'm going to be able to capture it on the sides. If I use a beaker, it's going to splash out. We always use a flask in AP chemistry for these types of things because it's going to catch any liquids. I don't want to lose any of my solution. Now, I said that we were going to be looking to see the color pink. So it's really hard to see black, the pink through the black, so I cheat by taking a sheet of white paper and I put it underneath. That way I'll be able to see, and when it stays pink. So now I'm going to turn on my magnetic stirrer. Okay, that's going to make sure that any of this solution will be dispersed evenly throughout, and I just simply make this go parallel, or perpendicular, or sorry, parallel with my burette, and I'm just going to add just a little bit at a time. I'm going to go really slow with that, and we want to go in individual drops, and the instructions say that we need to keep this going until we see 5 seconds with a persistent pink. Now notice I had hardly anything and we got a really strong pink right away. So I want to go a little bit more. It disappeared. I did not eat up all of those permanganates yet. Okay, remember this is my sodium permanganate, and I'm eating up my oxalates in here. And so I'm going to keep on adding this permanganate. I'll know when I've eaten all the permanganates or my oxalates up because that pink will stay behind. Notice that it just disappears. So I'm adding just a little bit at a time. When we get down to the closer part, it'll stay pink for a longer time. And remember, we're looking for 5 seconds. And so I want to keep on adding. As it gets down there, I'm going to get smaller amounts as we go. I'm kind of cheating because I know how much we're supposed to be looking for. Notice how quickly that will disappear. It looks like a lot at once, but it's really only, fractions of milliliters that's going at each time. When we get really close to it and I'm getting close to that equivalence point, I'll actually add it drop by drop. Getting closer. 4 and 5. Now I saw just a little wisp in there. I'm getting really close. Notice I added 2 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is my equivalence point. And honestly, that's still pretty dark for that color. I don't think we want to go, I don't think I want to go even, I might have gone 1 drop too much beyond that. Notice it's very, very, very faint pink. I don't want anything stronger than that. Like I said, I probably want 1 drop too many because I added 2 in there while I was talking and it stayed. That's the color we want. If you go past that equivalent point, all of a sudden it's going to start to go orange on us. Okay, so we know now how that I'm at my equivalence point. I'm going to simply go and read my burette to see, and I want to go to tenths of milliliters, and so I'd actually go through and see where that was, and I'm going to now, the bar is actually covering up, so I go there, and remember I didn't start at 0, so I needed to record from the very top where my starting point was, and I need to subtract that from this as well. Okay, so that's all you need to do for this. And then we go back, if I go back to my math, and remember the final step of all that. Now that I know how many milliliters I added, I need to convert that to liters. And so I take my strength. Again, your number is not going to be this because you didn't start with exactly 0.15 grams. But if I had that, I would have this for my moles of potassium permanganate that's in there, and I would calculate, measure out how much liters of solution was used, and that will give me my strength. Now that we'll know this, okay, because remember what we're trying to do is to standardize that solution. Now that I know what that is, now I can go through and do another reaction with my iron compound to determine what percent of iron was present. That's part one of standardizing your potassium permanganate solution. We're doing it through an acidic titration using a birette. Good luck, you guys.